So the usual idea of universal basic income, there's the usual debates. Let's think about the debates. Is it truly universal? Is it going to be targeted? What are going to be the economic incentives? What about NREGA? What's going to happen to healthcare? What happens to nutrition? What happens to social insurance? What happens when there's inflation? Are we going to be able to index a universal basic income? Is this really a capitalist plot, to remove people from their rights to NREGA? And these are very important questions. When Parikshit and I wrote about this, is a quote from our paper, we wrote that universal basic income is a genuine structural distributive transfer. Its proper consideration must appear on top of social insurance programs, like not as a substitute. Whatever social insurance we do have, such as NREGA, should not be cannibalized for the purpose of making structural transfers, such as a universal basic income. So this is our position on the matter. It is not a substitute for social insurance. It is actually a structurally distributive transfer. As you might imagine, if you wanted to do some back of the envelope calculations on how much money we'd need, how expensive is it? Well, we know that India is full of redistributive schemes and directed subsidies, food, fertilizer, name it, there's probably a directed subsidy, okay? And we're talking here, not counting state level subsidies. When I last did this calculation, which was probably a year ago, it's about 6% of GDP, which is huge. Now, if you go to the Rangarajan Committee's poverty line, it's like just under 1,000 rupees per month for rural, and I think 1,300, maybe they index it a little bit, I don't know, and 1,400 for urban. If you average that out, looking at the percentages of people in the rural and the urban sector, you get about 13,000 rupees per person just to get them to poverty line, right? When you take that 13,000 rupees per person and multiply it by the population of our beloved country, you are going to again get a very large number. But just to give you a sort of, back of the envelope idea, is about twice the amount of subsidies that we already give in some sort of directed form. That's the order of magnitude that we're talking about.